If you love misty forests, big trees, and the feeling that something is watching you from the shadows, welcome to the Gifford Pinchot Forest. I'm John Nicholson, and for years my bloodhounds and friends and I have been exploring the forests and wildlife of the incredible Pacific Northwest wilderness. A few years ago I started a YouTube channel just to share what we have here. Life can be so busy and demanding today that we all forget or simply don't take time for nature. Hiking in the forest with my dogs helps me ground, and I also hope that watching our videos will do the same for you. I have around 75 cameras that are set up year-round, and we video capture wildlife doing amazing things during our trail camera adventures. The Gifford Pinchot is a landscape of volcanic ridges, old-growth forests, alpine meadows, and roaring rivers, all in the shadow of Mt St Helens. This forest is part of the Cascade Range ecosystem, meaning you're stepping into prime habitat for Roosevelt elk, black-tailed deer, black bears, cougars, coyotes, bobcats, and a wide variety of owls and woodpeckers. And yes, even the occasional cryptid has passed through these mountains, and we've seen them. Most of these animals are masters of stealth. You could hike for hours and never see one. That's where trail cameras come in handy. A trail camera is also called a game camera, and it's a motion-activated camera triggered by infrared sensors. When an animal passes in front of it, the sensor detects heat and movement. The camera snaps a photo or records a video. Today, all of mine are on video mode for at least 30 seconds. Too many things happen around animals passing through an area that you'll miss if it's only on photo mode. So I like to have everything in video mode and piece together segments to tell a story and watch animal behavior. You get a time-stamped glimpse into a forest's hidden daytime and nightlife. It's like becoming a wildlife biologist without leaving the comforts of a suburban family lifestyle. So one of the coolest things about exploring the forests of Pacific Northwest is the lushness of everything. And look at this area here. That is a big root ball. Some storm knocked it over, and that tree has got to be probably a 250, 300 year old tree. Isn't that amazing? What kind of tracks are those through there? Elk?
Yeah.
A lot of elk.
There's elk, there's deer.
All right. Looks like we've got a photo op stump up here. You wanna send them back up there again? So, in extreme wet, whoop, there you go. Good job, Apollo. Don't fall down. And wind, these big old trees get pushed over. And that's what happens. That would be a good place to hunker down for the night if you had to. Get in there, get out of the elements.
Yeah, because you could build your fire here and the dirt would collect the heat. Yeah, this is a perfect emergo shelter.
Yeah.
It's relatively dry too. I'd use it.
Yeah. See some bright orange over there. Maybe some lobster mushrooms coming up. We'll have to check that out. Oh no, it's just some leaves that are still kind of an orange color. Boy, it is lush in here. I like to read the forest like maybe a detective would. Before I set a camera, I like to slow everything down. The forest is full of clues as to what was happening there. You want to look for tracks. Elk tracks are large, heart-shaped hoof tracks. Deer tracks are about the same, but much smaller and narrower. Bear tracks, you've got 5 toes, a really wide pad. Coyote tracks look very similar to dogs, and bobcat tracks are round and about the same size and generally aren't showing the claws. When you see scat on the ground, scat's just another word for animal poop. It's not glamorous, but it's very, very useful. Elk usually have pellet piles. They look like, the chocolate candies all piled up. And where they bed down continuously, it piles up. There can be several hundred of them on top of each other. Bear is a seasonal, and bear scat is large. It's very often full of berries, lots of berries, but it also have hair in it at times. Coyote is twisted rope-like, and it is similar to dog poop, except it's all kind of tied together with the fur. Game trails, because animals are such creatures of habit, the ungulates, which is a fancy word for the deer and elk, they really kind of, for the most part, stay on these major trails. And so that's a good place for them. The predators will also use those trails, but not as regularly as the deer and elk do. They're sort of off at angles, off to the sides. They're opportunistic predators. So they, rather than coming in and out of a major elk trail, they'll skirt along the edge of it and lie in ambush. And of course, water sources like small creeks and springs and artesian springs in particular, they are hot spots, especially in late summer. Now, one of the greatest sources I have for reading what the animals are doing, what they've been up to, where they've been going, is to read my dog. And bloodhounds, you couldn't have a better dog for understanding what the animals are doing in the forest. All dogs will do this, but my bloodhounds tell me about animal travel behavior in the forest probably better than any that I've ever seen. By reading their changes in behavior of your dog, you can discover less traveled trails and bedding areas of whatever wildlife you wish to capture is. Plus, you'll always have a buddy with you, eyes, ears, and nose, to watch your back and give you a heads up in case of danger. And there has been more than one occasion that I've had my back turned to the woods and either Bucky, my Labrador, or one of my hounds, Wyatt, have perked up, woofed, barked, given me alarm, and all of a sudden there's some crashing in the woods in the general direction that they're looking. Dog is a good companion to have in the woods with you. You know, there's actually an awful lot of things to consider when setting up for the perfect trail camera site. It's not that easy. The more you do it and the more cameras you have out there, the better you'll get at it. It's not just knowing the animals' directions and their habits and where they go. Timing can be everything. So even at that point, where you think you've got a good place, you've got to consider how it's actually set up. And the height actually matters. Most of my cameras are only mounted 2 to 3 feet off the ground, and that's great for deer, coyotes, bears, smaller animals. if I mount everything up higher, which is better for elk, what happens for some reason or another is the smaller predators, they'll get by and it won't even trigger. I don't quite understand sometimes how that happens, but it does. So most of them you want to have at a lower level. If you're putting everything up high in the trees because you're afraid somebody's going to wander by in the woods and steal your camera, you're going to miss an awful lot of animals. There's just some risk to leaving it low so that it will capture the largest amount of animals. Now there's actually some things to consider when you're placing it on the ideal tree or fence post or stump or rock or whatever you have there. The direction it faces, a lot of people say face north if possible, and the reason for that is the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. So this avoids sun glare triggering false shots at sunrise and sunset. Well, being in the state of Washington, we don't always have sunlight. It's always cloudy and drizzly, so the north, south, east, west thing isn't as big a deal for me. And actually, on a sunrise, if I'm pointed right into a sunrise and it's foggy and dewy or misty or rainy, it can capture some of the most spectacular video of animals coming through. It really can. It's the same thing at sunset. So I don't really worry about the face north rule of thumb with trail cameras. I just do whatever I think is going to be the most videographic cinematography shot angle that I can get. That's what I'm after. I want to see the animal behavior, and I want to see something that's spectacular. So you've got to almost hold up your hands and put a frame and like, okay, so they come through here. Is that going to look better than this? Don't worry about the sun. Just do it. Now, you've got to consider vegetation and growth when you set a camera up, especially if it's only a couple feet off the ground. If you put it in the spring and everything's all patted down because of the snow, and then you're coming back in 3 or 4 months, it could be completely covered with a fern or a bush or something like that. And I'm usually really good at that. I'll tear out and break all the branches that are down low, so it has a clear view for several months. But one of the things that I've been caught up, I put things on stumps. I put cameras on stumps, and then ferns up above and moss have actually grown out and down over it. So you gotta look at what's on the sides, what's underneath, and actually what's on top too, because those big ferns could come out and cover it up, and then you get nothing. Now here's another rule of trail camming that I like to break quite often, but and that's all about getting the most artistic view of the animal coming in. But one of the things that's commonly said is don't put the camera dead center on a trail. And the reason for that is people say you want to angle it diagonally across the trail, because animals move through the detection zone longer, giving better images. Well, that's true, and the cameras actually do work a little bit better if it's at right angles, because that's just the way they're programmed. But it's kind of nice to have something that you see really, really small way out there coming towards the camera, and then all of a sudden it comes right up to it, maybe even sniffs it or checks it out, and then moves on. So what I have to say about that is keep that in mind, but buy more cameras and set 2 or 3 up at different angles. And what you'll find is you may have 3 or 4 around a waterhole, for example, and only one gets the animal that comes slinking through. That happened to me with this fantastic video of a mother mountain lion, a mother cougar coming in with her 3 cubs behind her. There were 4 cameras on that waterhole, and only one of them captured that. And it would be a real shame if I didn't have that, because of all the videos I have, that's definitely one of my top 10. And you probably saw it earlier in this video. It's just fantastic. Believe it or not, all the other cameras that are around that waterhole that I have, not a single one triggered. I have no idea why. Sunrise to sunset videos are in living color and look spectacular. The nighttime videos are in black and white and can reveal some amazing animal behavior. This is really amazing nighttime video of this cougar coming up and chewing on my camera. I've only had 2 of them over the years chew on the cameras, but I documented it. Here it is. It broke the latches on the camera, but it survived, and we got some great video from it. The cougars really are a lot more active at night. I've gotten more nighttime videos of them, as well as the bobcats, than a lot more than the daytime. Scent marking with the cats is a pretty big deal. They don't go too far without stopping to do a scent mark. You'll see this one here do a couple of them. I'm sure it has something to do with mating. I'm sure it has something to do with leaving a calling card. I was here. But anyway, they do it quite a bit. So I've got this mother and her 3 kittens several times over the last year and a half. You can see how big they are. In fact, one of the kittens is larger than the mom now. That definitely looks like a tom, and there's another one that is about the same size, and one in the rear is kind of the runt. They've been hanging together and hunting together now for a solid year and a half. This last bit of nighttime cougar video that I'm going to show you is some of my favorite. There is actually a small herd of elk just outside of your visibility, and this cougar is stalking into them right now. They are just in the darkness, and unfortunately I didn't capture it taking off, but you can see how stealthy it is. Such a magnificent animal. Studying trail cameras isn't just about getting cool photos and videos. It changes how you move through the forest. You start noticing things like broken twigs, faint tracks in the leaf litter, overturned logs, distant bird shrills and chattering, and you pay attention to your dog's behavior. There's an eerily awkward silence when you enter. You're aware that God's creatures are watching you, and they are very aware of your presence. If you do it right, your trail cameras will capture incredible video of their world after you leave. In a place like the Gifford Pinchot, you're very aware of something powerful. You're not alone out there. The forest is alive, watching, moving, breathing, and with patience, respect, and a little curiosity and help from a friend, you might just capture the video of a lifetime. You might discover something that many think do not exist. At the very least, at the end of the day, you'll discover peace of mind. That satisfactory feeling that you did something awesome today. You were one with nature. It gave you SD card presents to take home with you and share with the world. Thanks again for joining us at Trail Camera Adventures. What did you say again? Seven cards. We've done a 2000. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we liked making it. And if you did, come here, girl. And if you did, go to our YouTube channel. There's hundreds of them there. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please like our videos. And there's a whole bunch of wildlife, and there's a whole bunch more of all the different bloodhounds. We've got Canine Wyatt on there. We've got a little bit of cedar, and there's also your brother Elton. Elton's on there too. So thank you for watching. Please like it, please share it, and please come back. Thanks.